Alright, it figures I'm rocking the UFC sweatshirt on like one of the few videos. I'm not actually doing anything that involves MMA. So, but I wore it because at a grappling tournament today we did quite well. One of my female grapplers actually won a medal. It's just cool. It's awesome actually. Alright, where to begin? Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of the F1 silly season. Formula One, my other passion. People think I just have MMA. Just not quite the case. I do other things. I like other sports, and I'm going to do a little bit for you here. Okay, starting at the top, we have, of course, the big thing in the silly season is where Fernando Alonso is going to end up, and he was on contract with McLaren, but McLaren has parted ways with him. So I'm going to start with McLaren because they were the top team last year. Of course, Lewis Hamilton may be champion depending on the status of the penalties to both Nico Rosberg and the two BMW drivers. If they are disqualified from the Brazilian Grand Prix, it would move Hamilton up 3 spots, giving him enough points to win the championship over Kimi Räikkönen. If not, Kimi Räikkönen is your champion, and Ferrari takes it. Hamilton is on contract. There's a lot of speculation of who his opponent will be. Will it be a veteran like Mark Webber, Ralf Schumacher? Another name that's been thrown around is Jenson Button, perhaps. And then there's some younger guys. Nico Rosberg, Heikki Kovalainen, and Adrian Sutil are getting a lot of means. Now, the issue here is every driver I mentioned, with the exception of Ralf Schumacher, is actually on contract with another team. Kovalainen with Renault, Sutil with Spiker, which is now going to be the Pride of India. Webber with Red Bull, Jenson Button with Honda, and Nico Rosberg with Williams. Who do I think will actually end up this? I think it'll be Heikki Kovalainen, because I think with Fernando Alonso likely heading to Renault, I think that is the likely scenario. Kovalainen will be let go because he doesn't want a team with Kovalainen. He wants either Giancarlo Fisichella or Nelson Piquet Jr. I think it'll be Piquet Jr. because Briatore has a lot of issues with Fisichella. Fisichella's name may also be entered into this, but I don't think he'll take it. I think it'll end up being Heikki Kovalainen, who's a very promising driver and a guy who's going to be, I think, someone to watch. Other than that, although they say Ralf Schumacher is not on their list, I think he is, just because I think Mercedes always pressures for a German driver, and your best bets there are Nico Rosberg, but Williams has made it very clear that they are not giving up Nico Rosberg. Adrian Sutil, I don't think is quite ready. They would also have to buy his contract out from Pride of India, although I think they could do that because I'm not sure Pride of India is terribly interested in keeping Sutil. I think his contract is with Spikers, and the reason he's still there. If they offer enough money, I think they can get him. But at the same time, I don't think he's ready, and I think Ralph, people shit on Ralph a lot, and I don't think it's really deserved. He's not his brother, but he's a solid driver. Next, we have Ferrari. The only mystery here is possibly Ferrari making a run at Fernando Alonso and then leasing Felipe Massa elsewhere, but I think it'll be Raikkonen and Massa in the car come next year. BMW's in the same boat. I think it will be. I think I can guarantee you it's going to be Heidfeld and Kubica, Robert Kubica in that car. Next up, we have Renault, which, as we said, may go for the clean house. I think the likely lineup is going to be Fernando Alonso and Nelson Piquet Jr. I think Alonso will, in the end, take Renault. The other option may be Red Bull, which is next up. They have Mark Webber and David Coulthard on contract. They may cut Webber in favor of putting Alonso in the car and keeping Coulthard. Don't think that's going to happen. I think it will be Webber and Coulthard. Next is Williams, which has Nico Rosberg on contract. McLaren wants Rosberg, but at the same time, Williams is very adamant that Rosberg will not be leaving. As for his teammate, well, we have Sakaz Nakajima take over for Alex Wirtz at Brazil, but was not overly impressive, and I don't think Nakajima is quite ready. I think they should look for someone more veteran, like a Jenson Button or a Ralf Schumacher, because Jenson Button can opt out of his Honda contract because of Honda's low performance. And we know Williams would like a shot at getting Jenson Button in their car, and that would be a good team, I think, Rosberg and Button. I would like to throw the name of Ralf Schumacher in there, or Giancarlo Fisichella, because both of those guys are good at developing a car. You can't complain about it. Aside from that, I don't really know. Possibly a rookie. There is some rumors, a couple of rookies being thought of as maybe the guy, but we'll see. Williams, that's a little bit more of a mystery seat. Next up, I'm going to do Toyota, which of course is Jarno Trulli on contract. They fired Ralf Schumacher, so there is a seat open there. Not sure who to go for, honestly. They may look to a higher-end driver, a Jenson Button perhaps. Maybe they'll sign a supporter role player like Giancarlo Fisichella. Maybe they'll sign someone new. I honestly don't know. Toyota hasn't really hinted the direction they're going to go, and there really hasn't. Possibly because Nakajima might end up there. We'll see. Next up, Honda. They have Jenson Button and Rubens Barrichello on contract. I think that'll be the team, pending unless Button does opt out of his contract to go to Williams, McLaren, or Toyota, perhaps. Or Renault, but I can't really see Jenson Button at Renault. I think they're very on of getting Fernando Alonso. And they want a spot for Nelson Piquet, and they already have guys like Kovalainen and Fisichel's contracts. I think Fisichel's might be up. I think they do have Kovalainen's on contract. Next up, we have STR, which is Toro Rosso, the sister team of Red Bull. They've confirmed their driver lineup, which makes it nice and easy for me. It'll be Sebastian Vettel teaming with newcomer from Champ Car, rookie Sebastian Bourdais. So the team is Sebastians. Next up, we'll handle the Pride of India, which is going to be effectively a new team. Adrian Sutil is on contract, but I think we might see Sutil go elsewhere. I think Narain Karthikeyan will eventually end up on that team. Currently, the Williams test driver, and he did race for the team when it was known as Jordan. And his last season as Jordan before he was replaced. I think he's a likely guy to take on a role there. Then there's Super Aguri, which will be back with Takuma Sato and Anthony Davidson for a second year. And of course, there's ProDrive. We don't know if ProDrive will even be around. That's the kind of weird thing. They're protesting the idea that they can't use a customer car. I think possibly Jenson Button is an option if they do end up going in, because David Richards has a good relationship with Jenson. He's very high on Jenson Button, and he's also very high on British drivers. But of course, there's really no rumors circulating who would drive for ProDrive because we don't even know if they'll be entering. So my projected lineup, this is with a couple of really big guesses, is McLaren with Lewis Hamilton and Heikki Kovalainen, Kimi Räikkönen and Felipe Massa at Ferrari, Robert Kubica and Nick Heidfeld at BMW, Renault with Fernando Alonso and Nelson Piquet Jr. Our first rookie will be Nelson Piquet Jr. Red Bull with Mark Webber and David Coulthard returning, Williams with Nico Rosberg, and I think I'm going to go out with the very bold prediction here that Jenson Button will be in the second Williams car. Nah, do I really want to go that far? Yeah, I do. Toyota, Jarno Trulli. I'm going to say Kaz Nakajima takes the second seat. Honda, they'll be blown out of the water, I think, by the loss of Jenson Button. I think at least, because this team looks lost. As for who replaces him, possibly a Ralf Schumacher, because they have been cashiering, old drivers. I think more likely though would probably be Giancarlo Fisichella coming in there. Toro Rosso, of course, with Sebastian Bourdais and Sebastian Vettel. Super Aguri with Takuma Sato, Anthony Davidson. Pride of India, I will say Adrian Sutil ends up staying there, with Narain Karthikeyan returning to Formula One. Excuse me, as his teammate. ProDrive, if they come in, I'm predicting Ralf Schumacher, because you got to have a veteran, and that is David Richards' philosophy. He does want a veteran. I think the other spot would go to someone like a Matt Carroll, a rookie from England. Anyways, that's my theories on the 20 to 22 car field of Formula One, and I'm signing off.